Welcome back to another SmartFit Method Nutrition Moment. I'm Megan Lyons, double board certified clinical and holistic nutritionist. And now that you know why maintaining blood sugar is important, stable blood sugar is important, and a few tips and tricks to keep your blood sugar more stable, we're getting into the advanced level tips today. Here are some surprising impacts on your blood sugar that you may not expect. The first one is that it's not just about the number of carbohydrates or sugars. Let's take a few examples. I could have 40 grams of carbohydrates from kale. That's a lot of kale, but I could do it. I could have 40 grams of carbohydrates from brown rice, and then I could have 40 grams of carbohydrates from brown rice bread, a gluten-free bread made from brown rice flour. Now, if you looked at the label, all three of these have 40 grams of carbohydrates. But I bet just by me setting up this example, you could already tell me the impacts that those will have on your blood sugar. It's not just about the number of carbs. That kale will keep my blood sugar very stable because of the amount of fiber. Many of those carbohydrates are coming from fiber and it's unrefined. The brown rice is in the middle. It will spike my blood sugar more than the kale, but not nearly as much as the brown rice bread. Because when we refine grains, when we grind them into a flour and create them into something else like bread, pasta, crackers, muffins, whatever, that flour is stripped of a lot of the fiber, the bran and the husk and many of the other nutrients, and that refined flour spikes our blood sugar even higher. So if you look at a food and you think, was this ground into a flour before it was in the form of how I'm eating it? That's going to spike your blood sugar more than just the whole food, like brown rice versus brown rice bread. The second surprising impact is that having bulkier meals spaced throughout the day, as opposed to grazing all throughout the day, is generally better for your blood sugar. Now, there are a variety of exceptions of why people may be better off actually snacking, so it really does depend on the person. But in general, having a meal and then giving your body a few hours to digest is going to be better than grazing all day. Here's a surprising one. Alcohol actually lowers your blood sugar. Now, this does not mean that alcohol is good for us. What's happening in the moment is that your liver is forced to process the alcohol because it's a potential neurotoxin. So it kind of puts on hold the release of excess glycogen and basically delays any action that would be related to blood sugar that's not just regarding the alcohol. So when you're drinking alcohol, if you're wearing a continuous glucose monitor or monitoring your blood sugar, you may notice a slight decrease. That does not mean alcohol is a strategy that you should have alcohol with every single meal or anything even close to that. It's just kind of a funky thing that your body does. In the moment, it might be good for your blood sugar, but in the long term, it is taxing that liver and should be taken in moderation. Very last surprising tip for you is that the order of food matters. So let's say I did want to have that brown rice bread in my previous example, but I was also going to have some asparagus and some shrimp with my meal. So asparagus, shrimp, and brown rice bread. If I eat the brown rice bread and then the shrimp and asparagus, my blood sugar spike will be much higher than if I eat the shrimp and asparagus, protein and fiber, before I eat the bread. So putting your carbohydrates at the end of the meal, if you can do that in the context of reasonably enjoying your meal, that's always better for your blood sugar. Put the carbohydrates at the end. All right, I hope these surprising tips surprised you and helped you out. I'll see you in the next video of the series.